Hello. So I was watching a video by a young man on YouTube named his YouTube channel is Wilkin Brutus, and he made a video entitled Reverse Culture Shock. So this is me making one. So I have decided to split it into 3 parts, and the first part is I'm doing the and I'm thinking again. So the first part of the video will be called Space and Time. So the biggest thing with space and time is that the time differences. So when I first got back, there was a major, well, it was like in between major and not at all phasing me, where the time differences of me wanting to sleep during certain times of the day that weren't really times to be sleeping, and me wanting to eat during certain times that weren't really for eating, and such as that. And so getting reused to the population normality of routine. Whereas in China, there's a very set time that certain things happen. That namely being that midday time where you have lunch and nap time. Sometimes it's nap time, but you have like lunch basically. And so there's like a 3 hour, 4 hour period where nothing really happens and nothing's really moving, and you're just supposed to kind of take a load off. I would say another thing would be physical space. In China, because there are so many people, and the space itself is actually quite large, but there are still a lot of people, especially off to the east of China. And so space is very limited, and so things like taking the bus was very funny to me. Taking the public bus, when I realized that sitting on a bus in America, I didn't have 3 other people standing up and hovering over me the whole ride, and I didn't necessarily have to have someone sitting next to me. The seats, there were more seats on the bus. The buses are bigger here, and so just that right there that was more of a funny thing that I realized with like the closeness. Like I said, everywhere you go, there are usually a lot of people in Eastern China, and so I got used to people being very close to me in space, physical space and time. And so coming back, I was alone a lot, and I still am alone a lot. But what kind of helped alleviate that is that I started, I got a job a few months, like 2 months after I got here. And then I work with kids all day, every day. And so the kids, they hang on you, and they want to be very close to you. And so that kind of offset that. But then that comes back to what I was saying, where I'm alone a lot. I'm so used, and this doesn't even just come from me being in China. This comes from like the last 5-6 years of my life, where I'm used to always having something to do. When I don't have something to do, it's like nirvana for me. Versus now, it's often that I don't have anything else to do. I would probably wake up, go to a class, and then go to classes, and then go to work, and then after work I may go to meet with one of the organizations I was either involved with or running, or have meetings about this, that, and the other, being academics, being organizations, I would volunteer a lot. And then when I went to China, it was kind of the same, where I would wake up, I would go to classes, which I was teaching at this time, and then after classes, I may meet up with people for lunch, and then after lunch, I may go and prepare for tomorrow, and then after that, I may have homework from my graduate program back in the States, and then after that, I may have meet people for dinner, and and then when I wanted to have something to do, I always had options. Versus here, I don't really have close friends. And my family here is also very limited. I have like a mother and a sister and a grandmother who's immobile. And so I don't really have that much to do. I just kind of go to work and then come home maybe do more work. But one thing I will say is that work is tiring, and so when I do get home, I'm very tired. And so, but one thing I did do to help with this is that I started taking classes, which I think I mentioned in the previous video, where I'm taking different dance classes now after work, 2 days a week. And so that helps, because now I have something that I've obligated myself to go to that I don't always feel like going to, that I have to go to. And so that helps with that.